multiple New York Knicks players are returning from injury, and there has been a ton of discussion about this happening, and now everything is falling into place at the perfect time as the New York Knicks are coming back into play right now. Two of the best defenders on this team, in Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson, have been missing some time due to multiple different situations, with Mitchell Robinson having a swollen ankle. That has led to the Knicks being very, very careful. We also have an update on that as well, along with Deuce McBride, who is now in Chicago with the Knicks after staying behind in New York to deal with a family matter. With that all sort of being cleared up in a way that we can refer to it, there is now a lot to go over on this team, because right ahead of a key matchup with the Chicago Bulls, the first team in the Eastern Conference that is yet to lose a game, the Knicks now find themselves at a crossroads. Do they want to face the Bulls and have their full unit to try to slow down what has been a Cinderella story so far in Chicago, or are they going to continue on the same path they've been, taking the regular season with a grain of salt and continuing to make everybody rest and really, really consider load management going forwards, just in order for the team to keep doing their thing? We're going to break all that down over this short little Knicks Live that we have going on. And then we have a lot more to talk about ahead of this Knicks game. I know it's earlier than most live streams. I am not in New York right now, so it actually is 6:20 p.m. on where I'm filming it. It's a normal time for these live streams. But outside of that, there is a lot to discuss, guys. Let's jump right into it. There is a lot to go over on the Knicks right now, because what up, Carl Knight? The Knicks, they are going to bring back a ton of their talent, and really, there's a lot to think about right here, because Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride are two of this team's X factor. And really, I feel like I'm sort of at a point to where I just want to see the Knicks just play their best basketball. I want to see this team go out there and not be a complete just dud compared to what it is. And basically, I'm excited, guys. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Because right now, there's a lot. Sorry, I'm also sending out a text. But, guys, I'm really, really starting to see this Knicks team just sort of disappoint. And basically, all right, with the whole Knicks, with everything that's going on right now, I want to see this team go out there and make something very, very clear. I want them to show that they do believe they're the best team in the NBA. Now, I also, more than anything, I don't want Mitchell Robinson to play if he's not fully ready. I don't care if Mitchell Robinson doesn't play until March. I really don't. I want him to play earlier than that so he is up to NBA speed. In reality, that's not fair because March doesn't give him enough time. I want him there in January. Mitch can take the first half of the season off. He can start right after the All-Star break. I do not care. It doesn't affect me. What affects me is Mitchell Robinson being healthy in the playoffs. That's really what matters. And the Knicks, yes, they're finally fully healthy, as Carl Knight mentions. But at the end of the day, I just want to see this team fully healthy. And basically, that's my number one thing, because it's killed us year after year. This health issue has absolutely been detrimental to this team thus far. And right now, it's just really been rough, because obviously OG Anunoby's been a little bit hobbled on an ankle. We've seen Jalen Brunson turn his ankle and Giannis help him up. We've seen all the rumors that came with that. We've seen a whole lot going on with this team. We also do have a Raptors fan right in front of my face right now waving a We the North flag. I was just making fun of the fact that, the Knicks, there it is right there. There's Ben Rogers right there of Raptors Digest, making fun of him because, Knicks got OG for RJ and IQ, a trade that is aging swimmingly for us, Benjamin. Oh, he wants the mic.
We got RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's the best player in that deal. You guys overpaid OG Anunoby as well. I'm standing on that one. That was a fleece for the Toronto Raptors. I'm standing on it. IQ will be back. He will be fine. He might be paid. It might be the worst contract in the NBA, but he will be fine. I'm a believer of this team, of this group, and things will be okay.
Well, you are talking to the fan base that does love Immanuel Quickley more than anyone in the world. I saw a tweet today that said we look at Raptors fans look at Immanuel Quickley the way that we look at Elfrid Payton back in the day, which just hurts our souls over here in New York. We love IQ. We love this team. And more importantly, we love a healthy Knicks team. Deuce McBride has done everything possible, anything good that's possibly happened to the Knicks. Deuce McBride has been a huge part of that thus far, because the fact that he's the best point of attack defender on the team when it comes to guarding guards. OG is the best defender, best versatile defender on the team, I should say. But when it comes down to it, the biggest thing with OG and with the Knicks entirely is they don't have a guy to guard small guards if Deuce isn't healthy. And we've seen that time and time again. We're sticking different guys on him, whether it's Mikal, whether it's OG, and frankly, none of it's worked. What really works is having Deuce out there. I love Deuce in the starting lineup of these Knicks teams too. I think it's when the Knicks work the best. You have 3 shooters out there, and I know you're undersized, but we saw Mike Brown have a Kings team that was a 4 seed when they went undersized with Sabonis at the 5 and then having Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes at the 4. I'm sorry, but a Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns frontcourt is so much better than that. It's not even on the same stratosphere. Also on top of that, Mikal is a small forward. OG is just a forward in general. Karl-Anthony Towns is best offensively as a center. The team still has 3 excellent defenders as well that I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson and Cat really getting beat, especially in the regular season. If we want to worry about that lineup in the postseason, that's a completely different thing. But right now, I'm not concerned, guys. Now, guys, all right, so here's the thing. We're looking at some stuff. Yeah, they did overpay IQ. I still love IQ as well. Shout out to Mike's Hard for not sponsoring this, but we are going to sip on it because it's got the orange tint right now, so cheers. But, look, this Knicks team, they need these guys back. It doesn't need to be short-term, but they're playing the Chicago Bulls right now, who not only are just a flat-out solid roster. I mean, at the end of the day, Buzelis is really coming into his own. Josh Giddey looks like an all-star. They don't even have Kobe White yet. Ayo Dosunmu's been excellent. Nikola Vucevic is still that same guy. They have actual talent on this team. They really do, and we know how these Knicks Bulls games go. No matter what the rosters look like, these games are always very close slugfests between these teams. It's the best way that you could sort of argue the NBA's rigged almost is because Knicks and Bulls, those games have been close since the days of Ewing and Jordan, and both these teams have gone through serious ups and downs. I mean, whether it was the Knicks with Derrick Rose and, Melo and KP and Joakim Noah and Courtney Lee facing off the Bulls with Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, don't even remember their power forward, and Rolo at the 5, who, we traded there in exchange for Derrick Rose. There's a whole lot to consider with this team, and frankly, I think that now, all these years later, this is one of the biggest gaps we've seen between these two squads in a long time. The Knicks are a far better team, but the Bulls, the coaching has been great. It shows why the Knicks wanted Billy Donovan. The man runs an excellent offense. Like, he's running an offense that's perfectly fitting around Josh Giddey. He has his big playmaker, which is what he loves, and we're seeing it really come to fruition just in full force. Now, look, there's a lot to think about. Is Mitch playing? That is the update right now because basically with Mitchell Robinson, we're waiting. It's going to eventually be a game-time decision on Mitch. So as of right now, we're yet to see it, but Mitch has fully practiced with the team. He's fully warmed up, and Mitch has given every indication on social media that he wants to play tonight. The Knicks will play Mitch if he's healthy. It also came out that Mitch, he was very involved in these load management talks. This wasn't the front office and Mike Brown deciding, all right, Mitch plays this game, Mitch doesn't play this game, Mitch plays this game. No, that's not at all what happened, man. What happened is that Mitchell Robinson sat down with them, and they basically made a game plan. The training staff, led by Casey Smith, who just won an award for his training staff last year with the Knicks, and OG Anunoby played the most games that he's played since his rookie year, so we're seeing the training staff knows exactly what they're doing with their guys. There's a lot of this to go over. The bench is slacking. The bench is definitely slacking. Man, that's been the big issue. Just look at the numbers that we've seen out of Gershon Yabusele thus far. It's not been good, man. He's putting up 1.7 points per game, 4 rebounds, and just shooting 20% and 14% from 3 going into this game. It's very worrisome just entirely. It's just really worrisome when we look at Gershon, and I think that when it comes down to it, it's because he's playing that center position. The man is not a center. He's just not. There's no way to put it. He's not a center. The Knicks are playing him at the 5. Now, I would rather them just never do that and just keep Huckporty or Towns on the floor or just put in Trey Jemison at this point because it's very clear. My hair looks insane right now, guys. But it's very clear that OG Anunoby is even better at just guarding bigs. If we really want to put Gershon out there or just run small ball in general, I'd rather OG guard the 5 at this point. because that's insane. And my hair just does not look better right now, man. The hair's a wreck right now, boys. It's not the vibe right now. I'm going to have it covered in a Halloween costume that I will post onto here in case you guys want to see. But look, with the Knicks, with everything going on right now, Gershon Flabby Belly is not playing well. I think it's because he's playing the 5. Like, yeah, I would like him to lose a little bit of weight too, but at the same time, my biggest issue is that he's playing out of position. He can't guard big men because he's not tall enough, and he's just also, he just doesn't do enough that's big man-oriented offense to really put him at the 5, and defensively, he's already not a great defender, so putting him on centers when he's just undersized isn't working. People can just hook it right over him, and it's happened time and time again at this point. Now, on top of that, he looked lost out there. I thought Mitch was starting tonight. If Mitch even plays tonight, it's going to be an absurd minutes restriction right now, guys. Yabu should not be playing the 5. He should never play the 5 again. It always felt like a weird choice for the Knicks to sort of come out and say instantly that Yabusele would be at the 5 a lot. It just feels like a complete misstep by the Knicks. He's not a good enough rebounder to play the 5, let alone the defensive issues. So when we look at that, I would rather Gershon just play nothing but the 4. I don't mind if he's playing 5 minutes or 20 minutes. I imagine he minds, but also he's got the player option at the end of the year. If the Knicks really don't want him back and they just kill his minutes, he's not going to re-sign with them. He's going to look elsewhere to another contending team that he could play the 5 with. And with all that in mind, like, it really is something where I want to see this team. I'd rather just use Trey Jemison. This is why we brought in Trey Jemison on a 2-way contract. It wasn't for him to watch basketball games. It was for him to play when Mitchell Robinson wasn't, so the Knicks would still have 3 actual big men. That was the point to me. You bring in Trey Jemison to be your in case of emergency, break glass guy, because you have Cat, you have Huck Porty. If Mitch is out, you have Jemison. You don't need Yabusele. Jemison's having a better season than Gershon Yabusele right now. Makes no sense to keep going with something that's obviously not working. The Knicks need to choose a different direction. And I know it's like, well, maybe he'll adjust. He's not going to. Gershon Yabusele's not going to adjust to playing the 5 because he's just not a 5. Did you see him play it once in Philadelphia when he had his good year in the NBA? I didn't. He wasn't really playing a ton of 5 in either Eurobasket or the Olympics, and that's one of those situations where it's a different type of game where he could get away with it a little bit more. So I don't like the idea of Yabu staying at that 5. So what do you guys think about this? I do want to hear from you guys. We're going to be on this live until around 7 p.m., so we got 30 minutes to talk some Knicks basketball. Per Ian Begley, Mitch is expected to start. So there it is right there. Mitchell Robinson will be back in this game. For the first time this season, we will see Mitchell Robinson suit up in a New York Knicks uniform for the regular season. This is absolutely incredible to know because Mitchell Robinson being there it's just so integral to this team. I mean, like, when it comes down to it with Mitch, like, it's just what makes this team go. He's always been that X factor. For years, that's been the case. Now, Mitchell Robinson just put out on Facebook, "I'm ready." He said that, and as Ian Begley reported, Knicks plan to start Mitchell Robinson tonight versus the Chicago Bulls in his season debut. Robinson is ready to play tonight per his Facebook. And again, that "I'm ready" is going all over the place. CP, the franchise, put an hour ago, good chance the Knicks have their full squad active versus the Bulls tonight. Deuce McBride and Robinson will be playing. Mitchell Robinson is hype. He's in his jersey, in the elevator, in his hotel right now. He's officially been activated. So the starting 5 tonight will be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson. That is the Knicks' 5 best players going out there and playing. That is so huge for this team. Now, as Gabriel Fonseca said that Mitch is playing tonight, and I figure Cat is playing well on opening night. He scored 16 points, but against the Bucks, he only scored 8, 2 for 12 from the field, and 0 for 3 from three-point. We lost by 10 points. I mean, look, here's the thing. Obviously, the Karl-Anthony I just saw Tendrell's comment. Shout out Tendrell. He's been watching these live streams for a very long time, and so is Carl Knight, of course. But when you look at it, a big issue is Karl-Anthony Towns. He has to find a comfortability in the offense and the team's roster. He even said before the season he doesn't understand his role, which is very worrisome. But I trust the Knicks, and I trust Karl-Anthony Towns to figure it out. When you're that good, when you're as good as Karl-Anthony Towns is, it's pretty easy to figure it all out because you're just that great, and he's versatile. He can play the 4. I think with Cat, he gets into a mental state. That's what happens. Karl-Anthony Towns, it feels like he just enters a different mental state depending on his position. And he, like a lot of big men in the NBA, like Anthony Davis, like Victor Wembanyama, doesn't want to play the 5. He likes being a 4. It's just where he's more comfortable. And unlike Anthony Davis and Wembanyama, it actually makes sense for Towns to play the 4, considering there's no rim protection there. And Towns, weirdly enough, is better at on-ball defense than low-block defense, unless he's guarding like Jokic. So Karl-Anthony Towns makes absolutely no sense as a player, but you can win with him. Look, it's not by coincidence that Karl-Anthony Towns has been to the three last conference finals, is whether it's been the East or the West. I don't see that as a coincidence. Yeah, because he got traded from a great team with Anthony Edwards to a great team with Jalen Brunson. Sure, we're going to pretend like Cat wasn't an all-star with those teams. I know he missed an all-star game because he only played 30-some-odd games one of those years, but at the end of the day, that was, 3 years ago now, and at the same time, Karl-Anthony Towns is an all-star starter. I'm sorry, I don't think that it's an argument that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't lead to winning basketball. I think as a second option, Karl-Anthony Towns is absolutely perfect for winning basketball. And I don't care if his first option doesn't play defense like Jalen Brunson. But at the end of the day, I just want to see a team that actually can go out there and win basketball games. And the Knicks, they have all the talent to win the East. I mean, they should win the East with this talent. And if they don't, it feels like a misstep. So I do want to see this all go down. What up, Charlie Knicks? We are going to get a dub tonight. We're going to win this game. We're going to go up and be 3-2, and then we're going to be off to the races. Guys, something to remember last year is that the Knicks were 5-6 through their first 11 games, and we were all panicking, thinking that this Karl-Anthony Towns trade was the worst thing that Leon Rose ever did, and that he completely shot the team in the foot after building a contender. We have to remember that that's the case here. The Knicks, this is not new to them. This is not new that they've went out there and they've struggled. So to see it now, I'm really not that concerned whatsoever. Especially against this team, this Bulls team. I think that the Knicks are going to play amazing. They're going to dominate the rebounding game. I mean, right now, the Bulls start a unit of Josh Giddey, Dosunmu, Buzelis, Okoro, and Vooch. The Knicks should murder them on the glass. The Knicks should murder them in the low block. They should be winning the game on the shooting because they have better shooters. They also have a team that's super equipped to handle their stars. I mean, OG or Mikal is a great matchup for Josh Giddey. I know I said that neither of them are great point of attack defenders on guards. Giddey's 6'7". It is a little bit different. I more mean those small, quick guards like a Tyrese Maxey per se, or a Steph Curry, or a Kyrie Irving. I know he's injured, but point still stands. Those are the type of guys I don't love when OG and Mikal guard, and that's when Deuce becomes even more important than he already clearly is. The Knicks bench has been terrible so far. They have the second least bench points per game in the NBA. The only team below them is the Lakers, and their bench is just an embarrassment. So when we see that, it really does become sort of a point of view that we have to look at where we understand the Knicks bench doesn't have its leader. Deuce is the leader of that bench unit. He's been here the longest. He's been in the rotation a while. He's had nothing but success with the Knicks. Deuce's whole career has been succeeding in New York. So when we see that, we do have to understand that there's a lot there to like with Deuce McBride, with this Knicks team. I mean, look, obviously he missed the playoffs in his first year with the Knicks back in 2022 when the Knicks missed it. But ever since that, I mean, Deuce didn't play a lot in the 2023 playoffs, but he did play a lot in 2024 and 2025 when the Knicks traded Emmanuel quickly to the Toronto Raptors. Deuce quickly got inserted into that rotational lineup for a reason. The Knicks knew what they had there. They didn't just trade quickly because of the money. They traded quickly because of the money, and they knew that what they had with Deuce was going to work. So when they went out there and did that, it makes a lot more sense to understand that Deuce is such an integral part of this team. There's a reason the Knicks gave Deuce a long-term contract before he broke out. They knew what was coming. They saw this, and they wanted to get ahead of it by letting Deuce, not letting him play badly for 2 weeks, but they saw Deuce play badly and quickly decided to lock him up on a very cheap deal to where Deuce would be sticking around with the Knicks, and the Knicks wouldn't have to worry about apron problems. I mean, even when you see trade talks happen, and it's like, well, the Knicks need to cut money, does Deuce McBride get traded? Almost the overabundant answer is no, because how little money he makes, it's just not going to make much of a difference. The only difference it's going to make is the Knicks are going to get worse. So Deuce isn't going anywhere. To have Deuce back is great. On top of that, to have Karl-Anthony Towns now get to play alongside Mitchell Robinson, where we've seen Cat play excellent basketball, is such a good sign going forwards for this team. I mean, I really, really, really want to see the Knicks go out there and just absolutely beat the brakes off the Bulls. I mean, comment down below if you disagree, but I don't see it with the Bulls. I think they're solid. I think they're a play-in team, maybe a low-end playoff team. But at their best, I see them as a first-round exit, man. I don't see it with the Bulls, not yet. I love Josh Giddey as a player. I think he's excellent. I think Buzelis is going to break out. I would love to see some other young guys on that Bulls team get some burn as well. But right now, where we stand, where the Bulls stand, this should not be a competitive game. And I have a feeling it's going to be, and it's going to be frustrating if it is, because the Knicks are going to be fully healthy, struggling to beat a Bulls team that I don't care if they're undefeated, if they're 4-0. I want to see the Knicks go out there and show the Bulls, hey, there's levels to this. We're not locked in right now, because it's not the part of the season that matters to us. This obviously matters to you guys more, because you guys need to stack up wins, because at any point you guys might get figured out or forget how to play basketball. Those are the questions that we need to sort of ask ourselves with the Bulls. Frankly, I just want to see the Bulls go out there and just look overwhelmed. I want to see the Knicks overwhelm a team. They overwhelmed Boston, and it felt really, really good. Boston was a smaller lineup. Now, Chicago's not as small, but they're not the biggest lineup in the world. Buzelis is not the tallest 6'10" in the NBA as well, which is important to note here. Mikal might be MVP tonight, 25-plus points. Mitch is back, hopefully. Mitch is back. Yabu's on a brand-new team, minus the weight gain. The guy just needs the time Mikal needed. Once he's on, he's on. That's also the thing. When we worry about Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, when we worry about Karl-Anthony Towns, we have to remember at this point last year, everybody was panicked about Mikal Bridges, saying that that's the worst trade the Knicks ever made. We were getting clowned by Nets fans. Like, you know, those Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. We're getting clowned by that fan base, man. So we all have to pump the brakes a little bit. We're 4 games into the season, about to be 5 games into the season. No matter who plays well tonight, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because it matters, but it also is like one of those situations where it's like, okay, if it doesn't work out tonight, we don't have to worry. We have to give the season the first third before we start to think, okay, this may have been an actual error. This may have been a serious mistake. Like, we got far enough along where Mikal was not playing well at all to where it got to the point where, like, okay, this may have been a serious mistake. And around that point, when Mikal got benched against that Hornets game and didn't come back in because Deuce replaced him, well, we saw him turn it around after that. And Mikal was inconsistent throughout the year, but in the playoffs, he was consistently an elite defender, which is what the Knicks traded for. Mikal's a great corner three-point shooter who's an elite defender. Now he's getting the ball in his hands more, and look, it's working. So it's just a matter of finding the right thing. And maybe it's thinking, oh, well, Mike Brown is the optimal coach for Mikal. Tibbs wasn't. Maybe that's not the case with Karl-Anthony Towns, who doesn't seem thrilled about this. For Cat, it's just trying to figure out if he's going to play power forward or center. And with Mitch being out all the time, it does make that tough. But also, I do believe that the Knicks are doing this the right way. They're going about things the right way. And it feels like they are. Everything feels like it's going according to plan for this team. That's rough to drink. That is sugary. Not a big sugary drink guy, guys. This is orange and cream. Sounds crazy name. At worst, at work, I met a Nets fan and told him thank you for Mikal. He laughed and said thank you for the 5 picks. That's also the thing. Those are some of the least valuable 5 picks, like when you accumulate all of them. That 2031 one, yeah, it's valuable as hell, and that's going to sting at the time. But look, the Knicks just have to find a way to stay good, like, you know, sign Anthony Edwards, something like that. But at the same time, when we look at the Knicks, which they are planning to do, but when we look at the Knicks, the rest of those a lot of those draft picks have already passed. 2 of them are passed already. We now just have 3 more. The Knicks are going to be good for at least 2 of those. So I'm really unconcerned about the draft capital. At the end of the day, the worst part about it is it took away our assets for Giannis. That's really what it did. And if the Knicks want Giannis, Giannis will find a way to force himself to the Knicks. But he doesn't want to right now. He wants to be in Milwaukee, and he wants to try to win with them. Giannis is going to exhaust every option in Milwaukee before he decides to leave. That's just the type of guy he is. It's not surprising to see that as well. There was, as it was reported, a 2-week span where the Knicks and Bucks both knew where Giannis wanted to play and that it was the Knicks. And they tried to make it work. The Knicks didn't have the value. And, yeah, that's when the Mikal pick, that trade, that's when it gets a little dicey. But the Knicks don't need Giannis to win. They don't need Giannis to win the championship. This is still the team that made the conference finals, was 2 wins away from going to the NBA finals. Now, I don't think they would have beaten the Thunder. My prediction was before the conference finals began that the Knicks would beat the Pacers fairly easily and then just get absolutely dusted by the Thunder. Obviously, I was well off on that one, but at the same time, I'm just not concerned about how the Knicks fare against some of these teams right now. First of all, trades are going to happen. I'm not necessarily saying the Knicks are going to go out there and make some crazy trade. In fact, It's really one of those situations where right now it's hard to imagine they do, where their financials stand. But other teams are. Other teams that are trying to win. Teams that, like, again, just to bring it back to the Bulls who the Knicks played tonight. If the Bulls keep playing well, if they keep playing like this, first of all, Vooch probably won't get traded. Or they'll try to sell high, which actually does make more sense regardless. But at the same time, we could also see them turn around and go the other direction. Say, what's the star available right now? How do we get a star big man onto this team? Do they take the swing, just make the attempt at Joel Embiid? It's not out of the realm of possibility that they try to trade Vooch and Zach Collins. That adds the money up correctly. So Vooch and Zach Collins for Joel Embiid. I would not be shocked if they tried to do that and then added whatever draft capital it takes. Embiid obviously doesn't look like himself anymore, but at the same time, the Bulls are a type of team that's willing to make a trade like that, willing to swing for the fences and try to go out there and do something. So the Knicks aren't a finished product because Mitchell Robinson hasn't really gotten integrated into the team yet. Deuce McBride hasn't played a ton yet. The Knicks haven't played a ton yet. They've played 4 games. On top of that, what we're looking at from the outside looking in of other teams is that there's still teams. The Eastern Conference is wide open. It's wide open. So there's going to be a team, whether it's the Magic trying to go out and make another move because right now they still need more shooting. Whether it's the Bucks, if they get off to a hot enough start and think, all right, let's try to make some sort of deal and get some more talent onto the squad, whether it's the Bulls, whoever it is, whether it's the 76ers who catch momentum and decide to sort of try to go all out. What is that? The ring light threw me off. There's a lot happening behind the camera, guys, right now. Ain't nobody trading for Embiid. There's been some noise, and the 76ers, it depends. Or they go all in the other direction and try to add more stars onto this team. It wouldn't be that surprising to see them go out there and make that decision. Could we get a wild trade like the Rockets and put Mikal at the 1, Brunson at the 2, Cat at the 3, Mitch at the 4, and Hawk at the 5? I think regardless, Jalen Brunson's going to play the 1. I know Mikal's been doing it. It's not lost me that Mikal's played a lot of point guard right now. But at the same time, with this team, I really, really think that they would never take Jalen Brunson fully out of the 1. They do want him to be more combo this year so they can get him off the ball because Jalen Brunson is sneakily one of the best off-ball shooters in basketball. We just don't get to see it because of the way he dominates the ball. We've seen it a little bit with Mikal and Deuce at the 1. I also do want to see Tyler Kolek and Jalen Brunson at least be experimented together. I know it's 2 small guards who can't play defense and it might not work, but it's also at the same time, we sort of just look at this whole thing and kind of start to understand, okay. It's the regular season. We could try to see what works with Jalen Brunson or not, because that also might determine if the Knicks want a veteran floor general at the deadline or if they want to look into free agency when that prorated veterans minimum deal can actually work for the team. Let's see what happens with the 76ers when they start playing quality teams. Yeah, I don't think the 76ers are going to do really anything at all. I just don't believe in them whatsoever. So that's what I'm going to say on that matter. I'm a believer in their future. I'm not a believer in their present. They don't have a best player on a championship team right now. We shouldn't sleep on any team. It's fair. It's definitely fair. We're not going for LeBron. I was late. Did we go over the LeBron for Cat talks? Those are a couple months old. I will breeze through it very quickly. Shams said today on Andrew Schultz's show that the names to be aware of are Giannis and LeBron, most notably, because both of them are commanding some situations where they would end up leaving their team. LeBron, I would not be shocked. I don't think he's going to finish his career with the Lakers. I think he's going to do a one-off year in Cleveland. Even if he retires before and then takes a year off and goes back to Cleveland after, LeBron's going to try to win another championship so we can get to 5. At the same time, I do think what we're going to be seeing elsewhere is probably Giannis getting moved. The thing is, if Giannis doesn't want to go anywhere with the Knicks, he's going to force his way to the Knicks. You could do that. You tell any team, I'm not signing an extension with you. Sometimes teams don't care. Look at the Raptors. They didn't care that Kawhi was like, well, I'm not signing an extension with anyone that's not in LA. And the Raptors said, whoops, we traded for you anyway. Come play here for a year. And what happened? It worked out. So because of that, you could take that side, or you could risk the Paul George situation where Paul George told the Thunder, there's no way I resign. I'm going to LA. Paul George ultimately opts to resign. Ends up getting traded for Shea a year later. And we saw how that worked out. But at the same time, what we ended up seeing was that not necessarily... Obviously, it did work for the Thunder, but the first plan did not work, and they ended up resetting their team in obviously a way that was done so well that they would go on and now look like the most dangerous team in the NBA for the next 5 years to come. So it worked out for them because Presti's an absolutely phenomenal GM. But also what I'm sort of saying here is that when we look at this, you have to be very aware of these trade situations. With LeBron, the Knicks would never trade Cat for him. Cat's under control for too long. Unless the Knicks are desperate to get Cat's money off the books, which they're not going to trade for LeBron. Also, LeBron has not played because he literally has an old man back issue. So I don't see that happening. Depth is better than stacking stars today. I agree. That's what we've seen so far, that we need more depth. Look at the Thunder. Look at the Pacers. Both those teams that made the finals last year. Yeah, they had star players. Shea's top 3 player in the NBA, top 4 player in the NBA. On top of that, you look at Tyrese Halliburton, top 15, 10 player in the NBA. Pascal Siakam, excellent second option, been a multi-time champion as a second option. No. Ben Rogers over there, Raptors Digest once again, saying that Pascal Siakam's the first option. That's not true, but Pascal's the man. No shade towards Pascal. I actually saw his first ever start. He started in a game against the Brooklyn Nets, and I was in Brooklyn watching that game because Nets games used to be $6, and it was excellent. But they're going to be again soon, so that's great. Now, with the Knicks, it's really one of those things where I'd rather them get depth than give up all their depth for Giannis. I mean, one of the biggest issues last year when the Knicks traded Julius and Dante away for Cat was they lost depth. They were supposed to have an elite bench unit. Instead, they just didn't because they didn't have the depth pieces to make it work. If they want more depth, they cannot be trading away for a bunch of stars. The Knicks have their stars. They have Brunson. They have Cat. That's a good enough star duo to win the NBA Finals. It's a matter of adding more and more depth. It's a matter of hoping that Jordan Clarkson does work out. It's a matter of hoping that Gershon Yabusele figures out and remembers how to play basketball once again. I mean, he was just playing phenomenal basketball over in Eurobasket, so I'm not that concerned. What I'm concerned about is the Knicks overreacting to the early part of the season not going the way they wanted it to go. So I do want to see that happen. I do want to see the Knicks I want to see the Knicks stay the course, really. That's what I really want to see more than anything. Can you brush on the 76ers really quick, Max season nut? Charlie Knicks, I will talk about any team you want me to talk about. You are our mod, after all. But with the 76ers, I do think they're a playoff team, 100%. They're a playoff team. I mean, Maxey is that good. I wouldn't call him the best player on a championship team by any stretch of the word, but he's phenomenal. VJ Edgecombe and Maxey make a perfect backcourt. Quentin Grimes is the other wing there. It does make them a little undersized, but it's not concerningly undersized because we know Grimes can guard a guy who's 2-3 inches taller than him. He can handle it just fine. So when we think about that, I'm not the most concerned. What I'm more concerned about than anything else regarding the Knicks and their rivals and opponents just really isn't the Sixers. Also, their bench is nice, but I don't believe in a team. I mean, I know Joel Embiid could find it again. He's that good, but it feels like the mileage is carrying on a guy whose legs have just already not been built to really last, especially when you're 300 some odd pounds. It's not going to work long term. And then having that lineup out there, Paul George at the 4 and at the 5, or at the 5 you still have Embiid when he's there. Adam Bone has been very good, so shout out to him for that. And then you have the Grimes, Edgecombe, Maxey thing. That team feels like they have to just embrace the future is coming and that Embiid is just going to be a part of a contract that they eat with Paul George, and that got 2 guys who are past their primes trying to just play their roles. One of the things is I really honestly feel like there's coming a point, and it's not here yet because it's, again, too early in the season to say this. There's becoming the point where you ultimately decide, okay, clearly this is Maxey's team now, and Joel Embiid has to understand that, and it feels like he'd be open to that, just understanding how Embiid plays. I'm not optimistic about Jordan Clarkson, Yabusele, or Landry Shamet so far at all. All of them are bad defenders. Yes, even Landry Shamet, his defensive stats are bad. His good defense is a mirage. Yeah, I mean, Shamet's there to be a quick trigger three-point shooter who's their 10th man. The Knicks are playing him in weird situations because of the fact that they have Deuce, and Deuce hasn't been there a lot. Again, we wouldn't see Landry Shamet start against the Milwaukee Bucks if Deuce McBride is there. McBride is not hurt. He's missing it for personal reasons, so that's different. And good evening. VJ Edgecombe will be a top 5 player in the NBA. Will average 25, 8, and 8 as a combo guard. Whoa, Sherwin coming out with a hot take right there. D Graham, we got all the classics in here. Dorkosaurus Rex. I believe I follow you on Twitter, Dorkosaurus. That was a bad trade to me. Randall and JB would have been great, and Devo coming off the bench. The fear is the spacing. The Knicks were worried about spacing because they wanted to be the anti-Celtics. And guess what? They were, and they beat the Celtics. So it worked to a degree. the fit with Randall and Brunson was always a little wonky. They both wanted the ball and to go left, and it created a weird situation. I mean, they worked well together. There was a bunch of again, that January 2024 Knicks team with Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, OG, Julius, and Isaiah Hartenstein was truly a great moment in Knicks history. It was one of those short-lived Knicks folklore teams that we're never going to get old talking about, or we're never going to get sick of talking about. But still, it is one of those things, and it's really becoming a situation where more than anything, I just want to see the Knicks go out there, use this team to their best of their abilities, more than anything. Track Monkey mentions VJ Edgecombe is indeed that guy. Oh, he absolutely is that guy. He's confident. He's attacking the rim. He could dribble the ball. He's really, really damn good. Randall's not clutch. Cat is a better high-level player than Randall. Here's the thing we look at. Karl-Anthony Towns in the Eastern Conference Finals last year averaged 25 points per game and 12 rebounds, had a true shooting of 60.1%. Karl-Anthony Towns is that dude. Don't forget that he's that guy. And also, again, I know the defense is bad. There's ways around it. There just is. As the Bay Harbor Barger almost hits me with a bat.
Apologies to all you Yankees fans out there that got absolutely destroyed and massacred by the Bay Harbor Barger.
I don't know if you guys could tell. As if you break this computer, you're buying it. You're my boss. And make sure to go watch Ben Rogers' stream on Raptors Digest for this Blue Jays game. It'll be a good time. It's fun to watch, and he'll be very animated. The man is animated. He's always been a Blue Jays fan, but now he cares because they're good. He's a fair weather fan.
Not anymore, Buster.
Oh, he's a fair weather fan. Once they're bad next year. But yeah, I don't care about them anymore. Just watching the Raptors rebuild. That's what it'll be. Or he'll get into football. Be a Bills fan, like the rest of Toronto. Cat is that guy I want on another team. We're going to see if the Knicks are truly ready to play against fast teams. That is the big thing. Billy Donovan runs a fast offense. I want to see the Knicks play in pace. I also don't want to see Mitch get overplayed tonight, just based off the fact that it's his first game back. He was dealing with some ankle swelling and inflammation. So I do want to see that all work out. We're going to wrap up this stream in a little bit. We're going to go to 45 minutes. Just one of those. It's Halloween. A lot going on right now. I'm not home. I'm on the road right now up in Newfoundland. But there is a lot to think about with this Knicks team. What do you guys think regarding this game? I want to see some game predictions tonight in the final couple minutes of this stream. What do you guys want to see out of this Knicks game? Oh, man. 2, not 2. Please name 2 lower IQ players than Cat in today's NBA. Here's the thing. Cat's a low IQ player for someone that good. He's not the dumbest player in NBA history. He's got his issues. And he probably is the lowest IQ star in basketball. I'm not denying that. I don't think it's going to prevent them from winning a championship. He's played too well. He's the reason the Knicks won Game 3 of that series against the Pacers. He's the reason they won. He had a 20-point fourth quarter. We've seen Cat carry the Knicks before. Right? The Knicks were going to lose that game to the Pistons, and Cat was like, nah, I'm going to hit a fadeaway, a shot from over the basket or from behind the basket, and then right after hit a 3 from outer Michigan, instead of just right in Detroit. So that's the thing. Karl-Anthony Towns has shown time and time again that he's a clutch performer for the Knicks in the playoffs. Emphasis on for the Knicks, because I know he didn't play well in Minnesota, and you could say, well, it was one playoff run, but he's on a team that fit him better. Not going to lie, I think we win tonight but lose Sunday. The transition defense is my biggest fear. I want to see an identity to this team. Who are we? I know it's not the greatest answer, and it definitely worries me too, but the Knicks are trying to figure out their new identity. They're trying to figure it out. They want to be a faster-paced team that plays in an offensive style like the 2 teams that ended up winning they're going to the NBA Finals. They're trying to become faster. They're trying to move the ball more. They want to do those spray threes where they have a guy who drives in. Not always Jalen Brunson, too, because they want Jalen Brunson spotting up and then to kick it out. It's why I do believe we see Mikal Bridges so often have those moments as the Knicks ball handler because they like Mikal driving in. He's got a good handle. He's really crafty at getting to the rim, that is. And when he does the Euro step, that slow, wide step, it's easier to kick it out on those because he's already got the ball up here. So he just flings it outward, which does work really, really well for them. So I do really like the way that the Knicks are doing this right now. And I do think it makes a ton of sense going forwards for them to keep doing that, keep getting those spray threes. The Knicks had their problems against the Bulls going all the way back to MJ. Dude, all these games have been close since then. If there's a reason you want to believe the NBA is at least given storylines, the Knicks and the Bulls have been close for 20-some-odd years now. Pacers were whack at the start of the season, too. Everybody forgot. Yeah, the Pacers were like, what, 5, 6, 7 games under 500 and made the NBA Finals? They were good. Well, they weren't initially. They were bad, but they became good. And it's one of the beautiful things just about this long NBA season. You don't have to figure it out in October. It's the last day of October right now. After that, we got, another month that, frankly, in the NBA, I don't want to say doesn't matter, but you're feeling it. It's still a feeling out process. You have to, first of all, you have to not play your players 55 minutes a night, which, well, hopefully the Knicks do now. But on top of that, it is one of these things where I want to see the Knicks go out there and just, I agree. I want to see them find an identity more than anything else. The identity, they want to be fast-paced. Buzelis is going to feast tonight. OG is going to be on him. They're going to leave Okoro. They're going to have Cat on Okoro and leave him. They're going to have Brunson on Io, and they're going to have Mitch guarding Vooch, and Mitch historically is pretty damn good against Vooch. So I like the matchups for the Knicks tonight a lot. It's one of the reasons why I think the Knicks are going to win. Also, they're just better than the Bulls, man. I'm not really concerned. The Knicks have their full roster. They're going to be flowing really well. I also think it's still going to be a close game, but it's not going to be the end of the world. The Bulls are good. They have momentum. Yeah, I think OG is just going to give Buzelis a little, hey, I know you're looking real good right now, but I'm on a warpath. And OG is on a warpath. The man's trying to go out there and become literally the defensive player of the year. He wants the award. He said time and time again, he's like, I'm an all-defensive player in the NBA, which he is. The fact that he didn't make all-defense last year was absurd. He should have been all-defense. Ben Rogers is literally just struggling to hear another fan of a non-Raptors team just talk about OG so swimmingly about being their best defender. It's killing him right now as he sets up his Blue Jays live stream. And, look, I really do think the Knicks are in great position to beat the Bulls up. And then also show, yeah, by the way, we know what we're doing. Like, we know what's up. This is a game where the Knicks can really send a message. And I want to see that message be sent. And for that message to effectively be, by the way, we're the best team in the East. Don't get it twisted. You guys might be winning games here and there in October. Good for you. We're happy for you. But we're the best team in the Eastern Conference, and we believe we're going to the NBA Finals and are going to win that. So we're going to go out there and play and give it our just really show you guys what happens when we get going. If the Knicks lose this game, I think there's allowed to have a little bit of cautious concern, like a little bit. It's only 5 games in, so there's going to be 77 left. But I do understand when then there comes some concern, like, okay, the Knicks have now dropped a few games they should not have dropped. It all depends also on the shooting. If they shoot as poorly as they did against Miami, you will start to wonder, when is this shooting really going to get going? That's a big thing that we do have to consider going forwards. I think the Knicks also will consider that as well going forward, so I am looking forward to seeing that Raptors die. Oh, he's in the stream. I didn't even see you there. Yep, there's Ben. And send back RJ and quick take OG. No. Charlie, we don't want that. What are we doing here, man? Yeah, sure you guys don't. No, we're good. I love IQ. I want to see him be a starting point guard still on your guys' team, where he could keep attacking above the break and then taking a floater from the just taking free throw line floaters with 2 corners wide open. That's the offense that Darko Rajakovic is running, right? Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. Guys, so quick question for Ben here, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up because I do have to get going. But Ben, how long till Darko Rajakovic does get fired from the Toronto Raptors? When does that happen? Is the real question here.
It's not gonna happen, folks. It's not gonna happen. We need a center. So if you guys have Mitchell Robinson, if you guys have Trey Jemison is your backup center?
Trey Jemison's our two-way.
Jericho Sims is no longer on your team.
We have Ariel Hukporti, man.
Ariel Hukporti, that is a made-up name. Give us someone over the height of 6'8". That's all we need, and then we are by far the best team in the Eastern Conference. It is, without a doubt, RJ Barrett's unstoppable on the wing, Scotty Barnes unstoppable on the wing. Brandon Ingram might be the next Kevin Durant. It's just the best team out there in basketball.
Isn't he like 6'7"?
You know, he's better. He's better than King. Goodness gracious. You're just aura farming here now on this stream. Aura farming on this stream, folks. Tune into Raptors Digest tonight if you want to watch a real winning team. A real winning team.
Couldn't say basketball team.
Yeah, it's not a basketball team. You know, unfortunately, Yankees folks, you know, wouldn't know anything about playing in the World Series this year. Wouldn't know anything about playing in the World Series this year. But, you know,
Yeah. Well,
Jays in 6 in the 6. It's happening.
he's also dressed as the Bay Harbor Barger, so
That's a deep cut.
yeah, Barger is
Lots of La Passion on the stream.
La Pasión. All right, well, adding some La Pasión to this, we're going to go over a few more comments, and we are going to head out. The same reason both of them have lost their bunkers. He is Peoples Hernandez. Come on down. That's a great name. Huck Porty is of Tongolese descent. First Tongolese player in the NBA, but born and raised in Germany. Yes, that is all very true. And, Ben, do you see the Raptors' top 4? He said easy. He's working on his stream right now. Guys, go tune into Raptors Digest and go watch some stuff. It's been great doing a little emergency happy hour to see some of the boys come back and play. The Knicks are going to beat the Bulls tonight. Everything's going to be fine. The Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals. Like this stream. Subscribe. Make sure to not miss a single update. Where we will have updates throughout this time on the New York Knicks, multiple every single day. Have a wonderful day, guys.